A gym owner opened her business about 5 months ago and already has average revenue per member above $454 a month. You're going to find out how that is possible today on Run a Profitable Gym. I'm your host, Mike Workington. Please hit like and subscribe wherever you're watching or listening with my thanks. Now, our average revenue per member leaderboard, we call it ARM, it runs from $454 to $724. That's the number one spot. Now, not every member at these gyms pays that price. Some pay more, some pay less, but that's the average, and that's what gets you on the leaderboard. Do the math in your head. Take the number of clients you have at your gym, multiply that by $200 or $205, multiply it by $300. Now, what would that do for your business and your life? We're going to tell you today exactly how you can get to those numbers. Emilie Towns of Ardent Fitness in Texas, she landed on our leaderboard, and this is very cool, just a few months after opening her gym. So, Emilie, can I ask you 100 questions about how you did this?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm so excited about this because, as I said before the show, it was so great to see someone have success early on in the journey because it took me a long time to get even close to a $200 ARM. So you already blew that out of the water. So I got to ask you right off the bat, what did you decide to sell that allowed you to get above $400 right after opening?
Yeah, I think I started wanting to sell semi-private training, which was very new to me. I didn't know what that was, but I decided to start with that, and then I also do small group personal training. So I wanted to keep it very, very small and personal, which I think allowed me to charge a little bit more because you can still get that personalized feel from a trainer, even in a group setting.
So small group and semi-private as opposed to group training.
Correct. And personal
Yeah.
training, but keep it with semi-private and small group.
Were you originally going to sell group training at first?
I think so. I'm trying to remember back. It's been a long process of building out my
Yeah.
model, but I think I wanted to have group as well because my goal here was to create a community. And I know it's semi-private, it's a little bit harder to do that because the groups are so small. So I wanted to provide something for someone who wanted the group setting but didn't really need that personalized touch.
Okay, we'll get into the details of small group and semi-private, but first, Emilie, what's the 60-second summary of your gym? Like, talk about, who you serve, what's your ideal market, what do you sell, how much space, how many coaches, what have you got going on at Ardent in Texas?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm about 1,800 square feet, and we sell small group, personal, private, and personal training. My target demographic from the beginning was we hit a demographic of men, but really wanted to focus on women about 45 plus.
Okay.
And our youngest is, I think she's 35, and then our oldest is 69. So really, really staying within that demographic. I have three trainers. I just brought another one on, and I mean, I'm biased, but I have a rock star team. Like they're incredible. So,
That's good. That's good.
yeah, and they do things better than I can, and I just wanted to keep it that way. So, and then yeah, we just run three classes a day, and on Fridays we run two, and just wanted to build those up. And my goal was to create a community and serve people who kind of can't really find where they fit in, and just build that up to just create a space that is welcoming and fun, and but we still get after it too.
Okay, so that's great. And let me ask you this, if this is how you do it. Small group, so you've got group training, which everyone does the same workout more or less with a little bit of modification. You've got small group where you have like smaller groups where, 4, 5, 6 people, whatever, and they're doing a similar workout, the same workout essentially, but it's modified, but they get more attention because it's a smaller group. In semi-private training, what happens is that the gym owner will have maybe 4 people in the class, 2, 3, whatever, but about 4 is a kind of a good number. They're not doing the same workout variations. They're generally doing their own programs, and it takes a very skilled trainer to then coach 4 different people through 4 different programs. Is that what you're doing with your program?
Yes, sir. So what we do is we have the small group personal training and the semi-private, and with the small group I cap it at 6.
Okay.
But on Saturdays I opened it up to 10, just so we can kind of have a little fun Saturday and make it a little
Crank
bit
up the
different.
music and go. Yeah.
Yeah, crank up the music. Got a good sound system in here, so want to kind of change it and honestly keep it as a vibe, and
hmm
everybody can meet who they don't meet throughout the week. So a lot of the different people come on Saturdays and meet people that, they're like, oh, well, I'm going to work out with you next week, like that sort of thing. So, and that's what I've wanted. And with this small group personal training, they still get such a personalized touch, even though they're doing the same workout. And the feedback we've got was, I'm learning so much, even though I'm not paying for that personalized program. So, and
Okay.
so it's been great.
And that's a key distinction because a lot of people are asking this question: what is small group? What is semi-private? Small group, people are doing variations of the same workout, but they're getting more attention than they would in a big group. Semi-private, they are doing their own specific workouts, and a highly skilled coach is leading them through that and just shifting attention between a smaller number of people. So it's not as much attention as PT, but it's way more than in a group setting, even that small group setting. So you could have a small group, or pardon me, you could have semi-private training of 2 people. You could have 4. I've heard of it as high as 6, but that takes like a very, very skilled coach. But 4 is a nice sweet spot. Is that, you said 4 is where you cap it?
I do 3 for semi-private, just for right
3. There
now,
you go. Yep.
because we're
And
still,
that's a
you
good
know, we're
number because it gets
small.
hard.
It does. It gets hard, and it also, we're still growing. And so, I mean, some people are
Hmm.
still getting the one-on-one because not everyone can fill that time slot. But when we've had 3, I've seen how well my trainers do. But I think that's going to be, I think you're right. That is the sweet spot with just 3.
People feel like they're getting a ton of attention, and all of a sudden it feels way more valuable, and it comes at a higher price point. So tell me,
Right.
where did you find out about semi-private training? This was something that would have changed my gym back in the day. I sold group
Yeah.
training for about a decade, and I
Yeah.
wish I had sold something
Yeah.
else. How did you find out about this right as you're opening? What did you do?
Courtney Brownlow. That's all I can say. I was with you guys for a year, I think, before I even, no, over a year before I opened. So um, I was like, what do I do? Like all I knew was box gyms. All I knew was sports performance, and
Hmm.
I wanted to be, but in my area that it's just box gyms. And so
Hmm.
I was like, let's be different, let's stand out. And Courtney was like, hey, let's do semi-private. And I was like, cool, what's that? So she explained it to me, and then we kind of just went with it and ran, and it's been really, really cool.
So this is cool. Like, I've made so many mistakes, and Chris Cooper's made so many mistakes, and so many long-term gym owners. We didn't have an option to like learn at the beginning. We just kind of opened a warehouse and fumbled through it, and eventually enough of us talked to each other and put our heads together and figured a few things out. And Chris took all that and like what he had learned and put together this great program that wasn't available. And I made so many mistakes, lost so much money. And it was, at the peak of my misery, I was losing $5,000 a month, and I had to call Chris for help. You
Yeah.
worked with Two Brain before you started. So how did this set you up for long-term success? Like, was it a good feeling to like not have to figure it out and ram your head into the wall by yourself?
Yeah, I don't like doing that at all. I want to be as efficient as possible in pretty much
Hmm.
anything I do, and I think that's my personality just in general. Like I don't want to repeat the same problem over and over and over.
Yeah.
I want to figure it out and get it accomplished. And I was like, I've never done this before, and if there's people out there who have done it and have made tons and tons of mistakes, like let's go ahead and learn from them, and I'm gonna
Hmm.
make my own in general. So like let's make them let's not try and make the mistakes that other people made and learn from
Hmm.
people who've done it and have been successful. So it was honestly the best thing, the best decision I made. So
Oh, that's so good to hear.
mhm.
I want to ask you this. Did you do a Founders Club promotion to start?
I did, and I
Ooh.
butchered it.
Okay, let's
So
talk about it. What'd you do?
yeah, oh gosh. Number one, I didn't know how much sales was going to come into it. I thought it was, and I think a lot of people think like you build it and they'll come. And it was
Hmm.
like, yeah, why wouldn't you want to work out here? Number one, my gym wasn't built out yet, so I was trying to like,
Hmm.
and it was a really, I mean, it was real rough looking before it got built out. And so even Courtney was like, hey, let's not post gym pictures on social media yet because it's not looking too good. So I was trying to sell, but number one, I hadn't opened, so I didn't know my product yet. And so I was just trying to
Aha.
sell a theoretical product. And I'm sure it completely came across as like, well, she doesn't believe in her product because I didn't know what it was. So
Hmm.
how could I believe in it, you know? Um, and so just my price point was not great. Like it just wasn't. Now looking back, I laugh. I mean, I just think it's funny because it's like I'm trying to sell these. ginormous packages with no rapport, no sales skills, nothing. And so I got people, I mean, people started when I opened, but it was like my mom and like my one other person. So,
Yeah.
but now we've really honed in on the prices, and I've seen results with the product, and it's so you feel convicted, and like people see that, and so it's easier to have the passion for it, to know that it actually is something that could change people's lives.
And that's interesting because I've heard we have a great Founders Club program, listeners. So what
Yes.
happens is give you all the stuff and
Mm-hmm.
teach you how to hit the ground running on day one. And I
Yep.
think the record, if I'm not mistaken, is above 75 members.
Yeah.
So that means you open on day one with members. I opened with like no members. The first person through my door was the tax collector, and I struggled for a long time to get anybody
Sure.
in the door. Right,
Yeah.
that happened to me. But other people have had better success with it. And you had an interesting situation where it sounds like you were kind of hamstrung a little bit, where you were trying to figure out like, what am I selling? And it's hard to sell
Right.
when you don't know that.
Sure. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it was, and it was all on me. Like I just wasn't, I didn't know enough. I was so novice, like all of this, and I just didn't, I think the main thing was like, I didn't know what I was selling. Like
Uh,
I didn't know what the semi-private was going to look like. I didn't know what the small group was going to look like because everything was so theoretical from the beginning.
Yeah, and it's a thing
So
that's jumped up now. It's becoming more and more popular. But like even 2 or 3 years ago, we weren't talking about semi-private training. We hadn't really figured
no.
that one out yet. So it's one of those things where you kind of had to get up onto speed on something that's very new. So I'm going to ask you to bring other people up to speed on this. Like, talk to me about the
Okay.
details of semi-private training at your gym. Like, we talked coach client ratio already. So you've got a max of
Mhm.
3. What kind of package details have you got? How do you set this thing up and run it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, they come in for their consultation. We talk. I feel like semi-private is probably going to be the best fit for them. I have
Okay.
clients that range from 1 time a week to 3 times a week, and my average is about 2 times a week. And I break it down with them by session, so they can see kind of what they're paying per session. Because if I give them the whole front, it's a little daunting. But
Sure.
you break it down by session, but I bill every 4 weeks. So they take the big payment up front. We get them set up for their on-ramps the first 2 sessions, and then we kind of hit the ground running after that.
Okay. Have you based your rates on your personal training rates? Like, are they a reflection of that in the semi-private program?
They are. They're about $30 less than my personal training, because if I
Okay.
can get 3 people into a semi-private session, that's going to equate my or be really, really close to 1 hour of personal training. So it just works out a little bit better for my trainers if I uh, price it like that, and it's still a little bit competitive in the market and not just like exponentially way too high.
Right. Okay. So you've done some market research. You've done, like, probably with Courtney, if I know her well enough, I think she probably had you sit down with a spreadsheet and dig into this whole thing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got a gym right across the street. So I, had to stay competitive, but I think I am the highest price in the area. But I tell my trainers all the time, I was like, we're white glove service. Like this is high ticket. Like we show them the value. And if we don't, like, I don't feel comfortable enough selling that product.
And you said you wanted to stand out in the market, right? Like that gym across the street's probably not doing what you're doing, I'm guessing.
They do small group, they do personal
Okay.
training, but they also do open gym.
Aha. So that's an interesting thing that you don't do.
Hmm.
Okay. Right across the street. So you literally look out your window and like see them, like, as you're training, you see the other gym across the street?
Yeah, absolutely. And it was actually the it was actually the initial space that I looked at to open, and
Okay.
then it just fell through, and they got open before I did. But and I remember I called Courtney and I was like, there's a gym going in across the street. And she like immediately deep dived on them. We both were talking, and just like, she was like, you're just different. Um, Plus the confidence I had from having you guys on my side, like that, I was just kind of like, okay, like, let's go.
Okay, that's interesting. And that's another thing where that's that mindset of like, I'm scared of competition versus the mindset of like, yeah, I'm going to be okay. I'm selling something different. I'm confident in my product, and away I
Yeah.
go. That would help me sleep better at night. Back in the day, I was very nervous about gyms opening up like 10 miles
Mhm.
away. I had nothing to worry about really, but I didn't have
Right.
that backup for someone to say that to me. Talk to me about finding these high value clients for semi-private training. So there's a lot of people that are
Mhm.
listening and saying, I could never find someone to buy a $450 package or whatever it is per month. How are you
Yeah.
finding these people? Is it advertising? Is it referrals? What are you doing?
Um, it's very heavy advertising, Facebook, Instagram, that sort of thing. But I also have quite a few small business owners in the area
Mm-hmm.
that are clients here, which is very, very helpful because they're in the wellness space too. So
Ah,
referrals as well. They are seen on my social media, recognized, that sort of thing. It builds a rapport in the community when you have, other people who are well known in the community, and that wasn't like a target, but I when you find the higher end clients who value when they have the same values as you and they provide a really good product on their end, they've already built the rapport on that side, so it's like an extension of you. Um, so and people asking themselves, how do I sell that package? I didn't think I could sell those packages either, to be honest. And but you find the people who they see the value and they want to progressively make their life better, and they're willing to be a little uncomfortable with the investment, and that makes them very, very high value because they see what they can get out of it. And I tell them all the time, like, this is longevity. Like, I don't want you for 6 weeks to get that summer bod. Like, I want you here for 10 years to when you're old and 80 and you need to get down with your grandkids. Like, that's what we're training for. And my clients, like, they're amazing. They really are. Like,
yeah.
I'm extremely blessed with the group that I have. So
So advertising. Did Courtney help you set that whole plan up?
I go through two brains. So Colm O'Reilly does mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I just did two brain initially with like the first marketing call, and I just had them set them up. But I wanted more leads per month. I started getting a little bit more confident in my sales and wanted to have some more leads. So I hooked up with Calm 2 months ago. I think we're going
Okay.
into our second month, and my leads have been really, really good. NSIs have been good. So it's been a really, really great decision to go with someone who's running the advertisements. Because again, like, I don't want to do it. I don't have time for it, and someone else is better at it than I am. So let's just pass that off.
But you understand the metrics, correct? Like you're looking at them and seeing like, okay, it's costing me this much money, but I'm getting this much in return.
Yes.
Like you see all that stuff.
Right. Oh, yeah. And even just
Yeah.
as simple as like, give me one client and that's going to cover my costs for the month. So, and if I get
So
one
there you
client
go.
from the advertising, then I'm golden. So that's fine with me.
So what that is we, gym owners, if you're listening, we teach gym owners how to advertise and how to evaluate their metrics so they know whether they're wasting money or not. So it's like, if I get X clients, this return, the front end revenue covers the ad spend. Everything's great. I'm getting great return on my ad spend. My cost per lead is high potentially, but I know that I'm making this much money, so it's not a big deal. We teach you how to read these numbers in spreadsheets so that you can understand it. If you want to farm that marketing out, then you can do that. And we'll teach you how to do that so that you always know that you're getting a great return on things. And there are 4 funnels that we teach gym owners to make. Ads is one of them. You've got social media, and I also tie that to the content funnel because they're very closely related. And then you've got referrals, which Emilie also mentioned. I'm going to ask you a little bit more about that. Local business owners, they must be a great source of referrals for you because they're out in the community. Is that happening for you?
They are. And they, I can think off the top of my head, three very well established business owners in the area that are very close to me and in the wellness space as well. So it's not like they're randomly, sorry, someone popped in. It's not like they're in just
If you need to go
in
sell,
like
you go
construct.
ahead.
No, that's okay. It was my trainer.
Okay.
um, so, but no, it's not like someone who's in construction who's like, oh, I work out here. It's someone who's like, no, I do health and wellness and all this stuff, and I choose to spend my time at this place and not anywhere else. So I view it as very, very rapport building through like secondhand funnels or something like that. Like they build their rapport with their audience, which if they trust me, then kind of it automatically makes them more inclined to trust us over here.
Okay, I'm going to ask you about, you said no sweat intro, so that's free consultation list, is what we call them, no sweat intro. It's free consultation. You sit down, you're going to talk to a client, ask them about their goals, tell them the best way to accomplish their goals, show them the price, sign them up. That's the very simple solution to that. Emilie, is that something that you would have come up with on your own, and how is it working for you? Because a lot of people will sell different ways, but we found that the free consultation works much better for ARM, revenue, and retention. How is it working for you?
It's a game changer. So it allows to it allows for both sides. It allows for the client to vet us and make sure that we know what we're talking about, get them in the gym, let them see it. Like I said, we're different than any other gym in the area. We're smaller. Some people don't want that, and that's okay. But sometimes this is exactly what they're looking for. And so it kind of immediately, oh, this is a nice space. Like it's not crowded. I know it's not going to be an open box gym, anything like that. But it also allows me to get to the nitty gritty of why they're actually there. Give me your goals so that we can, in 6 months, 8 months, whatever, we can reevaluate those to make sure that the value that we're providing is matching your goals. And otherwise, like, what's the point? Like, if you're just coming in to work out and you're not seeing any progress, like, there's no point in doing that. But it also allows me to vet people who I'm like, I don't think this would be a good fit for you. And I have a very, um, I have a, I'm very, very stuck in my vision and my mission for the type of clientele that I want in here, in a sense of I want you to be here and I want you to be able to put in the work. And if this is just a show up and I just kind of want to dilly dally, like that's totally fine. This just isn't going to be a good fit for you.
I don't think you're stuck in your ways. I think you just have a rock solid vision of what you want to do in your gym. And when you know that, you can then market it properly and sell properly,
Right.
because you don't want everybody, right? You want the right people.
Yeah.
And if you get everybody, I did this early on. I got all different people from all different things. And all of a sudden we had a bunch of high-end fitness competitors who wanted to do this stuff and a bunch of grandmas and grandpas who want to do this stuff. And they just didn't
Right.
mix that well. And eventually I got rid of the competitors and I focused on, it was very similar to your market. We're like professionals of like 32 to 65, maybe a little older.
Yeah.
And that's who we served. And once we knew that, our gym got way better. I had fewer problems. Everyone was happier. My retention improved. Everything was better. So I think what you're doing is great. And the other thing, I don't think that you could do what you were doing without that prescriptive model where you sit down and talk to these people and explain the value, because they might not understand. So the prescriptive model is going to be an essential part of this service, because I love what you said. You are taking people and you're showing them how to accomplish their goals. Then you're meeting with them again to say, here's the progress we've made towards your goals. Here's the plan to get further. And that is a huge retention play. It also allows you to give them more services if that would help them, if they want them. But the goal review session becomes an essential part of that. And so now that you've been open for, a little bit of time, have you started hitting some like first goal review sessions with people, and how are they going?
We do goal reviews every 30 days.
Yes,
Because
30 days. Nice.
every 30 days. Once we hit the 90-day mark, I'll probably spread it out just a little bit longer. But those first 30, 60, 90 days, like they either want it or they don't. And when you sit there with them, and the biggest people have their goals, that's great. We do in-body testing and all of that stuff too. But one of the biggest retention strategies that I've kind of noticed in those no sweat or in those client check-ins is I have a portion of it where I have praise points about the client. So like
Nice.
these are the things that I have noticed. I get feedback from my trainers, just little snippets just to be like, you're crushing it. And you even showed up, you were tired, you were mad, you were whatever, but you showed up, you bring a vibe, you bring excitement, and we've just seen you get stronger over this amount of time. Because I just feel like that goes further than, hey, cool, you squatted 205. Like, great job. It's
It's
more
a
a
personal touch.
personal, right? It's showing them that when you show up, like we see you, and you're very, very important to us. And I thank them for being here because they don't have to, you know. So I think that's helped.
I agree with you. And I can't think of a better way to resell, because that's essentially what you're doing every time a membership comes up for
Right.
renewal, to resell a high value service than sitting down and saying, look at what you've accomplished. I can't believe you did this. And it could be a PR, but it also could be you showed up and you worked and you put the effort in, and now we're seeing the results. Here's the results. Here's how we're going to go further. And people who have that plan are less likely to quit. Whereas someone who doesn't have a plan, like the early members at my gym, would be like, I don't know what's going on here. I'm just
Yeah.
going to, switch. And that was where I lost some clients. So that
Right.
prescriptive model, and I'll put a link in the show notes, listeners, if you want to check it out and see the cyclical nature of it and how it works with revenue retention. You'll have a link there. Check the show notes for that. Emilie, I'm going to let you get back to running your gym in just a sec. Last thing, gym owner out there is listening, has low ARM. Someone like me 10 years ago was like $110 or something like that. I could not have imagined getting to $454 or more. What would you say? Someone out there is thinking about looking at these numbers, thinking they're crazy, and thinking about working with a mentor. What would you say to them?
Evaluate your product. If the value is there, be confident in yourself to sell something that will get results for people.
And do you think it's a stepwise thing? Like, would you expect someone, like, did yours kind of go up like a hockey stick right away, or was it like a staircase where there were small jumps? How did your ARM progress?
Well, I was too scared to sell my semi-private, so I just sold group for like the first 2 months, and then decided that I didn't want to keep selling group, and so I started essentially prescribing more semi-private because it made more sense too. And when
Yeah.
you already showed the value, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, this is what it's going to cost, people started saying yes, and then you were like, okay, which gives you more confidence to sell more, sell higher. So it was like this for a long time. And then I remember one day I was like, I'm in the no sweat intro, I was like, this person would be better at semi-private. So I was like, here, this is our semi-private. Just like real me, like just kind of shy about it. And then they're like, okay, that sounds great. And I was like, okay, so it actually works. And then you sell it, and then you get confident, and you keep doing it, and then you keep seeing results, which allows you to build your confidence. So anyone who's worried about selling that, like, you just got to do it. And there's going to be more no's than yeses, but those yeses are going to be way more, they're going to be way more invested and see results really, really quick. So,
And the no's can get help at a different gym that serves
yeah,
what they want, and that's totally fine.
exactly.
And listeners,
Right.
I'll give you, I'm holding up here Chris's Help First. I think it's backwards, but that's okay. Help First, we'll put a link in the show notes to that. That is the concept. It'll lay out the idea that exactly what Emilie said, this person would be served best by this service. I'm not giving them a crappy service that they don't want. I'm giving them the solution to their problem. So if you want to learn how to sell without being a slimy salesperson, Help First, Chris Cooper's book, one of his most popular, link in the show notes. You can check that out. Emilie, thanks so much for being here. I'm so pumped to see where you're at in a year. Will you come back and tell us?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. This has been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's my pleasure as well. I really appreciate it. That was Emilie Towns. This is Run a Profitable Gym. Every week we are here with the top gym owners in the world. We tell you exactly how they're doing what they're doing so you can do the same thing. Thanks for watching and listening. Please subscribe for more shows.